Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to be invited by Astana International Financial Center. And to be honest, this is my first time in Kazakhstan, but amazingly, in about 2 days, this country has already enchanted me by its beauty and its hospitality. So thank you, and very happy to be here. Today, I would like to share with you some of my thoughts on fintech and how it could help China's Belt and Road Initiative by strengthening financial connectivity between Kazakhstan and China and help Kazakhstan become the fintech hub for Central Asia. This speech would be delivered by me. I'm Jingmei Zhao from School of Finance, Southwestern University of Finance and Economics in China, and my colleague, Professor Li Qing, and he's the Dean of School of Information, SUFI. By the way, we call the Southwestern University of Finance and Economics a long-term, in an amiable way of SUFI. And since it is a joint speech by two, it looks as if we will have to make at least 2 points of view. But actually, we do have points to make, and we believe these 2 points are kind of interrelated in logic closely. Our first argument is the spectacular launch of China's Belt and Road has reached a point where financial connectivity has to be enhanced to enable the massive physical infrastructure to full function. And from the fintech might be the key to catalyze all this to happen. Also, from the perspective of linking countries along the Belt and Road, fintech could help a lot to bring about a non-discriminative and inclusive finance, which is extremely important for developing countries to achieve economic prosperity. While to promote fintech and to implement it to real scenarios, government as well as industry should not ignore the power of academia. In our second point of view, Professor Li would elaborate why, by its nature, fintech owes the magic to bring the academia and the industry together to an unprecedented degree, and what SUFI, as an academic institution, has done so far to build platforms to educate talents in fintech and to encourage collaboration with the industry. And finally, of course, we would like to send out our most sincere invitation to colleagues from Kazakhstan and the world for further coherent efforts to make the world a better place. So one of the fundamental logics of the Belt and Road Initiative is that by providing infrastructure among countries, international trade could be greatly encouraged, and the resources could be more efficiently allocated, and the comparative advantages of individual countries could be most explored. Think of the original Silk Road. The desire for trade drove merchants to travel thousands of kilometers so that roads, bridges, and even new cities are built. And with that, financial facilities like exchanges and banking posts emerged and prospered. History tells us physical connectivity would ultimately lead to financial connectivity because behind the flows of goods and services run the flows of funds and capital. The two flows working together are necessary for economic integration and sustainable growth. 6 years have passed since President Xi unveiled the Belt and Road Initiative in 2013, right here in Kazakhstan, not far away, maybe 100 meters away in Nazarbayev University. And during these 6 years, witnesses have been, everywhere to see the achievements from dry ports to railroads to special economic zones. In accordance, financial infrastructure have been built in accommodating areas such as international settlements and trade financing. Among all the efforts, we believe that fintech has the most potential to shape a modern and efficient financial infrastructure and give countries, especially developing countries, a chance to catch up on a brand new track. Why is that? We believe that fintech gets three most important qualities to make it competent. The first quality, fintech by its nature is inclusive and non-discriminative. It is especially friendly for developing countries and underbanked communities. Take lending as an example. The traditional banking judges a borrower by his or her existing assets or wealth, which leads to a fact that the poor could hardly be qualified to access funding, while fintech is different. As we know, fintech is driven by data, especially big data. As long as data could capture individual behaviors, fintech transforms this data into credits. And credits are actually assets against which individuals or SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, could apply for loans. So one behave, one produce data, and one may participate in resource allocation. Ant Financial, the largest global fintech company, collects consumer data with Alipay, a third-party payment system affiliated to Taobao e-commerce platform. There were 9 million Taobao shops and 721 million Taobao consumer accounts. The running transaction reached up to more than $2 billion daily on this giant e-commerce platform. Powered with advanced artificial intelligence, Taobao has successfully transformed individual data into personal credit. We call that sesame credit. And by the way, I like this name a lot because each one of us is just like a little tiny sesame seed, but each one of us enjoying our own credit. And with that, every loan issued to Taobao shops owners and consumers could be priced and risk could be managed. This basic lending model has derived a variety of innovative financial products. Seasonal loan to Taobao shop owners is a good example. Ant Financial automatically tracks the transaction records of the shops and forecasts the liquidity request and issue loans for the incoming hot season. Such small and non-asset-backed loans are not available before. The inclusive and non-discriminative characteristic of fintech enable the underbanked or even unbanked communities, including many poor people and SMEs, to access funding, which are not feasible in conventional banking. Thus, the so-called financial gap could be substantially narrowed. According to IMF, that if the least financially inclusive countries in Asia narrowed the financial gap to the level of Thailand, the poverty rate in those countries could be reduced by nearly 4%. So second, we believe like fintech enjoy another kind of nature or characteristic. We call it like fintech is just like a booster. It owns the power to help the less developed financial markets skip some stages of normal development to catch up and provide a precious chance for developing countries to surpass the developed by investing in fintech infrastructure. Take China as an example. China has already become the most advanced economy in terms of mobile payment. There were more than 3.4 billion third-party payment accounts in China. And for context, PayPal has only like 227 million users globally in the year of 2017. Total third-party payment value grew 90 times from 2010 to 2018 and reaching up to $27 trillion. By scanning the simple black and white two-dimensional code, we call that QR code, millions of Chinese without a bank account could transfer money in a very convenient and inexpensive way. Mobile payment has become everywhere in China. It's a joke, but it's also a fact. Like we say, like even the homeless people or beggar could use a QR code printed in a piece of paper and ask for money in China. So China leapfrogs some cash-to-cashness or even cardless transaction in about 5 years, establishing the world's largest mobile payment system. Now Chinese consumers could use their favorite third-party payment methods outside of China at physical retailers in 28 countries and regions, including the United States, Canada, and most of the major European countries. In fact, I would argue like mobile payment system is essential to establish a fintech ecosystem in China. Starting from building a massive mobile payment system, Alibaba became a data giant. Purchasing behavior and transaction data are collected from its mobile system and further transformed into personal credits, while IT techniques for insurance and providing insurance like shipment insurance provided to Taobao internet shopping consumers. In addition, by providing settlement facilities, the giant turns itself into the biggest money market fund in the world. Yuebao by Alibaba was introduced in 2013. It is basically a sweeping account, which uses Taobao customers' Alipay account balance to invest in the money market and return the investment revenues to the customers. In about only 3 years, Yuebao became the largest money market fund in the world, with 300 million investors and 166 billion US dollar assets. Thus far, Alibaba could build a financial empire where you can always turn your credit into value, either when you are traveling, renting a car, or paying your utility bills with Sesame Credit. Once again, Sesame Credit, let me remind you again, it's a personal credit system run by Alibaba relying on the big data generated in its financial ecosystem. But where there is credit, there is businesses. When we say like an ecosystem, we mean a compatible and self-maintained environment centered around big data. A full-fledged businesses could emerge based on data-driven credit system. This system grows as different businesses expanded, generating more data and give the ecosystem more power to grow. Until finally, we could call our society a credit society. And credit society is a dream of Mr. Ma Yun, Jackie Ma. And by the way, his book is, sold outside this classroom. And this is a business model could actually be replicated by Kazakhstan in Central Asia, especially for the cross-border trading sector, and enable Kazakhstan to become a logistics and trading center for physical goods and financial center for settlements, e-commerce, and affiliated businesses. Okay, with that, I would like to move to my last point of view, like the third nature fintech enjoys, and that is especially friendly to our developing country. And the nature is like fintech by its nature owes some characteristics that could give the financial market a chance to make breakthroughs and start businesses in a new space where innovation could happen. For instance, the Belt and Road runs through a number of Muslim countries. Islamic finance is an important potential area for innovation. Like fintech-led finance, Islamic finance is relatively new compared with conventional banking. Like fintech-led finance, Islamic finance is showing double-digit fast growth. And also, like fintech-led finance, Islamic finance also emphasizes on financial inclusion and social welfare. Islamic finance aspires for growth without compromising on Islamic principles. And this opens up an opportunity for Islamic finance to join hands with fintech to drive adoption of financial products and services. In recent years, a growing number of evidences have been witnessed showing that Islamic finance and fintech could make a perfect match. Take P2P crowdfunding as an example. Crowdfunding powered by fintech allows easy access to funding online where borrowers and lenders can be from different geographic boundaries. It is based on peer-to-peer model embedded with Islamic finance principle, such as, excuse me, I need to pronunciate some kind of Islamic words, correct me if I'm wrong, such as murabaha, that's make up by buying the assets, and mushaharaka and muharaba-based equity financing model, which can provide easier financial access to individuals and SMEs, and for venture capitals. Besides, P2P financing is based on risk-sharing concept, which is in line with Islamic principles. Common principles make this model appealing for both Muslims and non-Muslims looking for alternative financial options. Islamic financial institutions in Malaysia launched a collaborative investment account platform where lenders, banks, and enterprises are all connected. New investment opportunities are introduced to new channels of funding. It has been an incontestable fact that Fintech can tap into Islamic finance while with its unique qualities of being innovative, inclusive, and non-discriminative. And these qualities are also the virtues of Fintech, which make it especially friendly for our developing countries. Fintech is a treasure which has too much untapped potential for governments and industry to ignore. What should financial industry do to quickly build a healthy fintech ecosystem? We would like to argue that to build a material connection with the academia and to build platforms on which chemical reactions could occur and synergies could be gained might be the answer. So we are not talking about making a point in general saying that the collaboration between the academia and the industry are always welcome. Once again, we would like to dig deep into the natures of fintech and argue that it has a magic to bring academic research and industrial scenarios together and form an environment for a healthy ecosystem. Now, with that, I'm happy to handing over the platform to Professor Li, who will elaborate this point in details and tell you what SUFI has done to build a fintech ecosystem as an academic institution. So let's welcome Professor Li.
Thank you, Professor Zhao. Now, I think in the following part, I would like to talk about something about how fintech help us to build the bridge between the academia and the industry. And also, I would like to make a brief introduction about the fintech practice in our university, SUFI. As we all know, fintech is a buzzword in today's financial industry landscape. Terminologically, it's a combination of finance and technology. But what is the core of the fintech? If we trace back to its origin, we will find that fintech is born to be the cornerstone for the integration of the academia and the industry. I would like to give more details about this. Technically, fintech could be seen in 3 dimensions. The first dimension included the techniques for data collection and storage. For example, web crawling techniques, cloud computing, and blockchain. The second dimension includes the technical infrastructure, such as the internet and 5G network to carry and transport the big data in an efficient and quick way. And the third dimension is the techniques, such as we already introduced, like AI and machine learning, which help transform the data into the valuable information. And if we combine with the different financial scenario, it will generate the financial product. Playing different roles, those 3 dimensions have one thing in common. That is, they are all centered on the big data. Data is the core and the foundation of the fintech, and that's why fintech could substantially change the collaboration between the collaboration model between the academia and the industry. For the perspective of academia, previous researchers, no matter what they claim themselves as a Keynesian or the School of Australia, all started from assumptions, because they need to simplify the models so the model can be finally solved. In a sense, researchers of different schools are all simulating the world and without consider about the real world of its own. Assumption much more or less distorts the real world and keep the academia away from the industry. So for a long time, those two parties criticize each other for not being theoretical or not being the practical. Gap always exists, no matter how much we emphasize how important the collaboration is. Now, data, especially big data, steps in. For the first time ever in the history, the academia starts to think about the real world because big data is the real world. Some economists in Stanford call themselves as long school economics because the research method doesn't belong to any school so far. They do not need to assume the price is elastic or start from or assume the market start from equilibrium or not. To study the research, they just use the big data to tell you what the real world is. As we all know, big data enables the academia and the industry stand on the same side. They both look into the real world and use theories and assumptions to solve the real world problem. Centered around big data, this quality of fintech lays a solid foundation for deep integrated collaboration between the academia and the industry. Those two became a very essential part of a healthy fintech ecosystem. They coexisted with each other and played with each other, fed with each other, and enjoy mutual growth. This growth will finally lead to a further growth. Finally, we see the prosperous achievement both in the theory and the practice. Let me give an example. In the field of risk management for the commercial bank, China has just opened a new era where when both industry and academia has a strong incentive to collaborate with each other. For past decades, those great gap existed between industry and academia when the risk management is concerned. From the perspective of academia, they preach that all banks should follow the Basel Accord 123 to well manage the risk and required all the banks follow these strict rules. But in China, all the banks, especially the small and medium-sized banks, don't buy this theory. As we all know, Basel Accords actually are basically based on the risk management experience of the well-developed country. And this doesn't fit into the scenario of Chinese bank. For a long time, the so-called core capital ratio in Chinese bank system was far below what's required by the Basel Accord. But nothing wrong happened. Why? In China, the majority of the depositors, our people believe that all Chinese banks are backed by the government. So even the capital ratio is quite low. People do not worry about it. And our Chinese bank will not face any run-ons on it. So great gap persistently existed between academia and the industry. However, things changed. When big data made a beautiful debut, compared with the customer real risk profile, these fixed ratios are not the primary concern of those Chinese banks. Actually, we have seen a tide that many banks, especially small and medium-sized banks, have shown the eagerness to work hand in hand with us. Sufi, our university, is making a big plan. We tap into several small and medium-sized banks which cannot afford to develop a complicated data-driven risk management model. And they would willing to provide us the business data, including the transaction data, climate data, and operation data. Think about that. With those data and our AI techniques, we can further improve the system and our models. An exciting part of this is that all the system or the models we developed, we opened it freely for the customers, for those banks, especially the small and medium-sized banks. They're using those systems, and then they will give us more data. So this system is growing, and is growing by the joint effort from both academia and the industry. Since we have come to the Sufi, I would like to introduce FIC, the most important fintech platform building the bridge between the industry and academia in China. As we know, there are some Chinese entity call themselves as a financial innovation center. What's the unique about us? FIC I'm talking about here, actually the outcome of top 4 front runners from both academia and the industry. The core members include UC Berkeley, Stanford, State Street, and Sufi. We designed a project-driven mechanism to make sure everybody work together and share the wisdoms, efforts, and the prospects on the creative or innovative projects. A project actually is a joint effort from core members in San Francisco, Boston, or Chengdu. People are worked together according to a specific project. They can work from different sites remotely, or they can physically on the same site by on-call duties. FIC aims to become nervous center of a fintech ecosystem. Why we are so confident about being a nervous center? The secret is FIC is the open platform for talents and techniques. Actually, we built up a so-called open grid network to let the resource flow freely. FIC sits from 4 core members and keep growing and absorbing new members with creative ideas and ambitions. Those members could be a guru or an entity in the field of fintech. Each member is a node in this fintech. If you contact with one node, and you can easily locate the other node, other resources in this network. So on this special occasion, I would like to send our honest invitation to the prospective partners to visit us and become one of us. The FIC have 2 flag activities I would like to share with you and welcome all of us to join us. So, now I would like to stop for 30 seconds and share you a video here. Okay, actually, this is a top competition for students in fintech. You can easily judge in terms of the participant teams. The competition is also fun. We call it at the Chengdu 80. Chengdu is the city where we comes from, and guess what 80 means? 80 means that during continuous 80 hours, all the students have to all the participants have to work together and develop software. Actually, after 18 hours, we will see they will develop a very quite mature product. Last year, the project was called Personal IPO. That means the students can develop a platform that people can price themselves and raising funds from this platform. And the most exciting part is that during this competition, we see some students didn't sleep for about 3 days in a row, and some students even dance during the night for the spirit or for the encouragement. So it is quite fun. And this year, this competition will be held from November 1st to 3rd. So I would like to welcome the universities from Kazakhstan to join us. Another signature activity is the annual Global FinTech Summit. This conference will be held annually in alliance with the Chengdu 80 competition. This year, the scheduled time is the same from November 1st to 3rd. Last year, this summit was joined by Nobel laureate Robert Merton, AI guru Mike Jordan, and Kenneth Ribbett, the chairman of American Mathematical Society. Also, professionals from the State Street, Swiss Re, Abu Dhabi Financial Center, and the regulator from China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Community were printed. This is a real summit for professionals from academia, industry, and authority to come together and have brainstorm concerning the hot topic on fintech. And this year, our theme is financial risk and macro prudential regulations. Once again, I would like to say welcome to all of you and join us. Finally, I will take 1 or 2 minutes to make a brief introduction of some ongoing projects in FIC. The first project is the media-aware stockment. We found that stocks are clustered into families, and where media behavior of stocks could spot these connections. In that, we have the largest financial database in China to study this work. And the second project is we call Professor Double Plus. We could precisely locate experts in certain area in this people-oriented search engine. It can be queried by personal images or the keywords. This program actually, we can say there is great business potential in this project. The second one is risk management for the small and medium-sized bank. Actually, I have introduced this a few minutes ago. Here, I would like to emphasize it again. It's an open source project, and we hope it will help the small and medium-sized banks in China to well manage risks using AI techniques. I think my time is run out, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Li.
Спасибо. В первую очередь хочу поблагодарить людей, которые сейчас здесь с нами. Я понимаю, что время обеда. Мы, наверное, немножко не ожидали, что выступления наших коллег будут настолько информативными, что мы немножко позже начнем мое выступление. Да? Вкратце расскажу о том, кто мы и чем мы занимаемся. Меня зовут Алина Аскарова, и я являюсь директором казахстанского представительства Женева Бизнес Скул. Возможно, кто-то из вас о нас уже слышал. Мы работаем в Казахстане с 2014 года и проводим MBA-обучение без отрыва от работы для работающих профессионалов. И последний год мы стали все больше задумываться о возможности дистанционного обучения, потому что многие из наших студентов — это люди, которые работают на месторождениях, люди, которые работают в нефтяных компаниях, люди, которые по долгу службы проводят очень много времени в зарубежных командировках и не всегда могут физически присутствовать на занятиях. Первым нашим шагом в развитии нашей части дистанционного обучения была видеозапись. Обычная видеозапись урока, когда люди могут просмотреть в свободное время. Но, как вы понимаете, MBA — это не только soft skills, leadership и какие-то легкие вещи. Бывают очень тяжелые предметы, связанные с финансами, связанные с продакшеном и так далее. И просто посмотреть видео недостаточно, потому что не все понятно, нет возможности задать вопрос преподавателю. И просто сами мы понимаем, что когда никто не контролирует, когда ты не в классе, очень легко отвлечься. Просто такой быстрый вопрос аудитории, как многие ли из присутствующих проходили онлайн-курсы и многие ли их заканчивали? Давайте поднимем руку, кто проходил онлайн-курсы. И теперь давайте поднимем руку, кто заканчивал полноценно онлайн-курсы и получал сертификат. Ну, как вы видите, буквально 2-3 человека, да, большая часть людей проходила, но мало кто заканчивал. Поэтому мое сегодняшнее выступление будет об этом. Здесь есть небольшая статистика о том, насколько онлайн-обучение сейчас захватывает рынок, и то, что рынок растет, и все большая и большая часть людей старается получить образование дистанционно. Почему люди это делают? Потому что это удобно. Можно находиться на работе, можно находиться в другом городе, в другой стране. Это гораздо дешевле. Вам не нужно тратиться на транспорт, на проживание. И чаще всего онлайн-программы, они сами по себе дешевле. И у вас нет ограничений. Сегодня вы можете изучать живопись, завтра вы можете изучать банковское дело, послезавтра вы можете изучать что-то из области аюрведы и так далее. Да? То есть полная свобода выбора. Но есть определенные ограничения. Вы не общаетесь со своими однокурсниками, вы не знаете, кто с вами учится. Чаще всего вам тяжело задать вопрос вопрос преподавателю и переспросить что-то, потому что вам либо нужно печатать, либо это видеозапись. Вы не заводите личных знакомств, и, в принципе, наверное, самый большой limitation — это то, что люди просто отвлекаются. И как решение, я вам расскажу небольшую предысторию. У нас сейчас на программе обучаются два очень интересных студента. Один из них работает в национальной компании, один работает в частной компании. Они состоявшиеся профессионалы, не имеющие никакого отношения к виртуальной реальности, заинтересовались этой темой и открыли VR-студию. Мы пошли коллективом к ним поиграть. Просто в игры мы стреляли в орков, разрезали овощи, которые на нас летели. И нам настолько это понравилось, мы настолько почувствовали себя внутри этого процесса, что мы подумали, а почему бы не применить это к обучению? Почему не сделать так, что человек может находиться дома, надеть шлем и оказаться внутри живого класса, увидеть своих однокурсников, пообщаться с ними, поздороваться, что-то спросить у них, пообщаться с преподавателем, попросить его еще раз что-то объяснить, увидеть, наконец-таки, вживую, да, преподавателя, но все это дело не выходя из дома. И мы подумали, что виртуальная реальность — это будет ответом на наши запросы. И, как вы видите, рынок виртуальной реальности растет, многие компании уже это внедряют, и уже сейчас в образовательной сфере VR активно внедряется. Сейчас VR можно увидеть в медицине, в робототехнике, в различных симуляциях, которые требуют очень тяжелых условий в реальности. Да? То есть это активно применяется, но мы решили трансформировать именно дистанционную часть образования в виртуальную реальность, сделать так, чтобы человек был вовлечен. Если вы надеваете наушники, вы уже не сможете отвлекаться на свой мобильный телефон так же часто, как даже если вы присутствуете в живом классе. Вы не сможете отвлечься и пойти там попить чай с коллегами, вы будете в классе, вы не будете никуда туда выходить, и вы будете полностью вовлечены в процесс. Мы планируем сейчас запуск этой программы. Уже в октябре у нас стартует новый набор на нашей MBA-программы. Можно будет попробовать обучаться в VR. И у меня есть хорошая новость. Мы сейчас проводим конкурс грантов. Можно выиграть 100% грант от Geneva Business School. В наших социальных страничках, на наших сайтах можно получить информацию. В зале есть мои коллеги, которые могут вас проконсультировать. А сейчас мне бы хотелось вас всех пригласить к нашему стенду, потому что, как говорится, можно 100 раз услышать, но лучше один раз увидеть, попробовать. В общем холле есть наш стенд, есть виртуальные очки. Мы вас не будем сегодня грузить классрумами и тем, как вы будете учиться. Мы предлагаем вам попробовать себя астронавтом, попутешествовать по человеческому телу, забраться на тонкую планку на Empire State Building и просто посмотреть, попробовать, что такое VR. Спасибо вам большое.